Morning, folks. Welcome to my humble homestead in the forest in Canada on this first day of September. There's a blue jay nearby. And today, I want to talk to you about perhaps the second most important topic of all the videos that I've posted here. And I think I have maybe 300 videos here on this channel. And that is guidance. Seeking guidance, accepting guidance, recognizing that we need guidance. Now, some of you already know that I'm not religious. I'm not into organized religions or even spiritual as such. And that's not the kind of guidance I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you are seriously considering making a lifestyle change to somewhere like here, for instance, in this sort of setting, or you're moving from one province or state to another, or you're moving across the country, or you're moving to another country, you're moving to another continent altogether. You're going to see, if you do at all, you're going to see, if you do some research at all on YouTube, you're going to see great number of videos and people. I would even say maybe 7 out of 10 videos on folks telling you about a similar move or maybe where they live. But there's a lot of sugarcoating. There is a lot of well, to be honest, it seems subscribers and likes and comments and whatever, all those things are what people are after. And that's what no one's telling you. And I know that you know. I know that you understand that that's what people are basically looking for. Like I said, 7 out of 10 people are not posting these videos out of the goodness of their hearts. There is money involved. Now, so far, I've asked YouTube not to include ads in my videos, and no one's sponsoring me. I'm not getting it. I've not received a single penny, but I'm not necessarily a do-gooder. I'll try to hang on to this philosophy as long as I can. But if I ever need money, I may have to run ads. But my point is that recognize that if anyone's telling you things you want to hear, yeah, it's because they want you to then go ahead and subscribe. Say, oh, I like this guy. Oh, I like her. She's telling, oh, she inspired me, or he inspired me to do the same thing. I knew I was on the right path, so I'm going to be doing it because he did it or she did it and they made it and it's all good and that's brilliant. So I'm ready to go. But honestly, maybe one reason why I don't have a lot of subscribers here, my subscribers seem to be people that are really genuinely want honest opinion and the truth. And I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. I mean, I only have maybe 130 subscribers, but I don't have 130 friends in real life. So I'm amazed that I'm grateful that I have that. But by comparison, when you compare this to people that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, or maybe even millions of subscribers, for saying what the viewer wants to hear. And that's just life. I accept that. I understand that. But my point is that And I'll give you some examples. My point is that you really need to, you're looking to, and I've said this before in other videos, you're looking to make a life-changing move when you look to move out of the city and to this sort of a setting or another country or another continent. Hearing what you want to hear, you know that saying, you'll find if you only look for what you want to find, then you will find it, or something like that. I can't, how does that go? My point is that you should look for the opposing views. You should look for people that tell you, not negative. I'm not a negative person. I'm an optimist. In fact, the name of this channel is called A New Day, because I believe that, despite the fact that I believe that we live in a simulation, and there's a guy that's controlling all of this, I still think that a new day, and there's every single day, every single morning like today is a new day, which spells hope to me that it could be better than yesterday. New opportunities, new possibilities, new everything. It may not be. At the end of the day, I may find that, no, it was exactly the same as yesterday, but I don't know it today. Right now, this morning, it's like 8:30 in the morning. Today, I don't know how the rest of the day is going to fare. I will know by the end of the day, but I don't know this. So it's a new day. So you see, I'm an optimist, and yet I'm a realist. So over the 11 years that I've been here, I've lived this sort of lifestyle. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned a lot, and I've not just what I've learned, not just by the way I've lived and where I lived and how I lived, but also by watching how other people have lived. I mentioned before that I live in possibly the most populated rural neighborhood of Canada. Now you might say Canada is the second biggest country. How do you presume to say that this is the most populated neighborhood in all of Canada? I don't know. I'm guessing, but let me tell you, I've said this before. My definition of populated neighborhood is, so you live, there's a metropolitan, the city, urban. When you come out of that, that's the country. Now this population starts to be sparse. A house every half a kilometer. That's countryside. If you keep going, now you've hit rural, and that's where we live, fairly secluded. Listen, so fairly secluded, fairly isolated, and yet there's 75 of us here. Our mail lady has told us that this is the most populated neighborhood that she's ever seen. In fact, the fact that you can call it a neighborhood is amazing, because come out of our neighborhood, then you get, when she's delivering mail, you get a mailbox maybe every kilometer or more. So let me tell you. So if she has to deliver 70 parcels or letters or something outside of this neighborhood, she has to drive 70 kilometers. Or say if there's one on the other side of the street, she has to drive 35 kilometers to deliver 70 letters. She can do that here within a 5-kilometer radius. You see the difference? 5 versus 35 or 70 kilometers. That's how populated she is. So I've seen a lot of people come and make a lot of mistakes. Now, there are two people in this neighborhood that I can think of right now who are sort of like Buddhists and believe that they're here to suffer. They're here to pay for whatever they did in the previous life. I don't believe that, but that's them. So you may be one of them. You might be that sort of a Buddhist mentality or whatever, that you might not want guidance from someone like me or anyone that's ahead of you by however number of steps, because you think, no, I want to make every mistake for myself. And this video is not for you. And good for you, you go ahead and do that. I'm the opposite of that. I want to learn from other people's mistakes, so I don't make those mistakes in addition to the mistakes I'm going to make on my own. I'm going to be making I've made a lot of mistakes at 56 now, and I'm nowhere near done making more mistakes. But I don't want to make my mistakes in addition to all the mistakes that other people that have come before me have made. I want to learn from them and at least try to avoid that. So reduce my mistakes by half if I can. So I've even written a book on this, and I would consider myself now, by comparison to folks that are coming, a off-grid coach. That means, so imagine a coach for living sustainably. You can, off-grid just means a whole other level, which comes with its own costs and luxuries and discomforts and whatever else. But going back to just sustainable living coach, I am taking all my mistakes and all the mistakes that people around me have made, these 75 other people, 70, say, people around me that I've seen make, put them all together. And if somebody new comes here, I make myself available. Or if you are trying to do the same kind of move, lifestyle change, I can offer you my wisdom. Wisdom, as in not that I'm wise, but what I've gained experiences and knowledge in my time here, and pass it on to you so you don't make those. So when to buy, where to buy, how to buy, who to look for, what kind of construction method, all of these things. Found everything from building to buying a property, buying land, planting what, where, in what kind of soil condition, all of that stuff. I offer that for $100, not $100 an hour, just $100. Now, this is not a pitch for, I'm not trying to pitch you my services. This is not one of those videos. And I'll tell you why. Just hang in there. A couple years ago, a family moved here from another country, from another continent. And over the time that they've been here, I've more or less just talking to, because I don't do hard sales, so I just talking to them so they can kind of get an idea of who I am and what I've done and what I've gone through. And then if they want to hire me, to tell them all the gained experiences, knowledge that I've gotten over the years, pass them along to them, I'm available. They didn't care to want to hear that. So a year later, they went and bought themselves a parcel of land, not ideal by any means, the location of it, but near here. They waited another year to make construction. Meanwhile, they're paying rent in a less than ideal conditions in a cabin, old cabin. And this year, just about a couple of weeks ago, they started construction. And they hope to move out of their rental space this year, which is almost an impossibility, because building a shell, building a house, building a, just the outside exterior, even if they could complete it this year, does not a house make, does not a livable house make. You need, if you're going to, especially if you're going to be off grid, you need to have your solar assembly. That takes time. We spent $10,000 on the wrong set of electricians and solar assemblies, everything. And we had to, over the years, we started replacing them all because it's expensive. We couldn't replace them all at once. So every year we upgrade one component of this solar assembly, the construction, all of that. So by not paying $100 to a local, and that's a gift. I mean, I say, if you call me, say, what do I look for if I'm moving to Portugal, which a lot of people seem to be moving to, my number one advice would be not to, but there's a whole other video on that. But I don't know a lot about Portugal, but I do know what to look for if you're looking for a property wherever, in particular here, but just wherever. I don't know the people, I don't know the culture, I don't know the language, I don't know the customs of anywhere else. That's just their own. It's up to them to do their own research. But a local, like these people had it was almost a gift to have a local guide, I guess, local guide right in the neighborhood to tell them everything that pertains to their particular situation. By not paying that, so far they've paid $10,000. Are you with me now? $100, $10,000 extra, or they will be by the time this year's, because they're not going to be able to complete that the house that they're building. So you're going to have to pay one more year of rent. In addition to, we can't put a cost on the stress level on the family living in small quarters, less than ideal, all that stuff. When they have parents coming to visit them, where do they stay? In that little already confined space where they could be their own house, new stuff, not moldy, new windows, new roof, all that stuff, airtight, all that stuff they could have had they employed me to tell them the right time to build, the right material to build, the right person to find to do the quickest job, best job, the most reliable, the most trustworthy. All of these things they could have avoided by paying $100. It breaks my heart to see this happen because I don't understand. I don't have the resources. If when and if I sell this property and go somewhere else, my number one thing, absolute number one thing, is not how much the property costs, how much the land costs, the location, is finding a local, wherever you go. This is my advice to you: a local guide, a guy or lady or a person that is in their 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe not even 40s, 50s, 60s. That's a good age because they know what the new things are. They know what the history of places, different places are. Where is the windiest? Where is the most sunny if you're going to be off the grid? Where is the best soil condition? Who are the best neighbors? They know about all the neighbors. I'll give you an example with that. What is neighbors? What does that have to do with it? Well, here's the thing. Recently, a parcel of land came up for sale. It's actually still up for sale right now in our neighborhood. We have at least two local New Brunswickers. I say New Brunswick because one of them is about 15 minutes. Her whole family is 15 minutes. His and the couple's family is about 15 minutes away from here. So their parents, the generations. One of them 45 minutes away from here. But my point is, look at how when you see local people move to a neighborhood, you already know that they have such gained knowledge over the generations to decide that, now, this is the neighborhood for me. I understand. They know everything there is to know about the city and the vicinity, and yet they've decided to live in this particular, in a particular neighborhood. That's where you want to go. When you see truck drivers going to a particular restaurant, you know that's where you want to go because they travel so much. They've tried every single restaurant along the highway or wherever, and they decide that this is the one, this is the best one for the quality, portion, service, whatever it is that you look for. They've done it. You're just traveling. You're just reading some reviews, and that could be, well, I guess some reviews could be subjective. You might prefer service, somebody else might prefer quality, somebody might prefer freshness, somebody might prefer price. You don't really know. But these truck drivers that drive and they eat at every place, they know. These local people, they know. Local guides, they know. So this recent property, that parcel of land that came up for sale, she already has some land here that they own. This couple, one of them, the one that I'm telling you in a minute more about, but they want to buy more because they understand how more and more every year, more and more people moving to our neighborhood from around the globe. So they thought it's a good investment to buy more property, more land, I should have said. So she looks into it, asks around her extended family, relatives that have been here for generations, and they said this: don't buy that property because, as cheap as it is, because the way it's situated, the way it's plotted, the property line and the neighbors are terrible. The neighbors are trouble. We didn't even know, and these neighbors aren't even here most of the time. There's like a cottage for them or something. But I don't know what any of that means. I didn't go into it. But then this lady went and sent it, not to us because we're not looking to buy anymore, but sent an email to the rest of the neighborhood saying, I know you're all looking for land because everybody wants to have more land, more elbow room, or perhaps even for as an investment because prices go up. And this is a really good price, but don't buy it for these reasons. We would have bought it once we found out that this is the case with this particular land. Don't buy it. Stay away from it. You see that? You from away 1,000 kilometers away, 100 kilometers away, or another country, you would not have known this. Do you know what I mean? And what I just told you, people outside of this neighborhood are not privy to it. So that land will sell very quickly to some poor family or poor person that didn't know any of this, the layout of the land and the neighbors. They didn't know any of this. So this thing they're going to buy it and then find out. And then what if you only have one kick at the can? You can't. It's not something that you can recover from. So employing a local guide wherever you're going is honestly should be the number one priority on your list. Location falls under that. He or she will tell you where that location is. You may have to pay twice as much or 3 times as much or 4 times as much for a particular property, but you'll be happier in the long run. You may be the couple that I mentioned that could have employed me to tell them where to buy and who to employ to build their house and when to do it, that they didn't listen to me. So instead of paying me $100 to tell them all that stuff, now they're going to end up paying $10,000. When they're done, it's going to be less than ideal because, for one, the location isn't right. And you can't change the location. You might be able to say, well, listen, this house is what it is. I mean, we just wanted to get out. We were desperate and we're going to build it. But the location of it, you can't change the location of it. That's set. That land is there. You can't pick up the land and go somewhere else. You may be able to pick up your house and put it on some other land, especially if it's a little smaller house. But location you can't change. Neighbors you can't change. I mean, the only ways you can change your neighbors if they sell and go away. Do you understand what I'm saying?